Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to review a round of sparring and I'm going to offer some constructive criticism and some tips. This is aimed for beginners, so this is a beginner's sparring breakdown round. And before we get started, I just want to say for anyone who goes into a gym, that deserves some respect. It takes some courage to get into a gym, it takes some courage to start sparring. And it takes some courage to let someone on the internet review you. So we're going to keep everything respectful and constructive. If I see any negative comments below, I will just delete them. We are here to help each other get better, not to bring each other down. So keep it respectful or your comments are gone. All right. All right, so let's get into it. Tip number 1, no chains or jewelry when you're training or sparring. It's not going to help with anything. If anything, it's just going to be a potential liability. You might get caught. So just get rid of that stuff and it's just going to keep you less distracted and safer. All right, so let's get into the actual movements here now. They start off. The guy in the white headgear here, he's moving to the left and he's doing a good job. You can see he's keeping his feet spaced apart a little bit as he's moving compared to this, where the guy in the red headgear is cross-stepping. This is a big no-no, especially as you circle into your opponent's power shots. You'll see why in a few seconds here. So there's a kick to the body, and then that's right there. That's why. You can't really see it from this angle, but because the way he was moving, his feet are crisscrossed and his back is turned, he's doing it again. It's really hard to defend kicks on that side.
No head kicks. No head kicks. Not hard like that.
All right, so that's great. They have a coach or a supervisor watching them and getting to keep the power low, especially on the head kicks. These guys are fairly inexperienced. So, that's great. They're going to avoid major injuries that way. Let's hear that again real quick. All right, so good coaching and supervision there. Right now, though, you're going to see a very common mistake that a lot of people do, and that's the guy with the white headgear is looking back away from his opponent and looking at his coach. And that's a big mistake that people make. Always keep your eyes on your opponent all the time. Now, these guys are going pretty light, so it's not really like a huge concern here, but it's just one of those habits that you don't want your fighters to get used to, is to look away. If you can't understand your coach, keep your eyes on your opponent. And if you absolutely need to, make sure you time out. Make sure your opponent knows you're going to stop and that you're going to look away. And that's just going to avoid taking any unnecessary shots that could be dangerous, like to the back of the head or the neck. Now you see a nice little spin kick to a nice left body kick here. And this is probably where I think I would stop these guys right now, because the guy with the red headgear is dropping his hands every time trying to catch these kicks. And that's going to get him kicked in the head eventually. I mean, they're going light with the head kicks, but it's just one of those bad habits. So he's starting to move a little bit more to his right, but you can see the guy with the red headgear keeps circling to his left, crossing his steps. So again, if this was my student, I would stop him and not let him continue sparring this way. He's just going to create a bunch of really bad habits. I'm not sure what the relationship between the supervisor and these guys are, but yeah, I think I would. No, that's pretty good. They got a couple good 1-2s in there. They're moving. They're keeping it respectful. They're not going super hard. Guy in the white headgear is doing a lot of extra hand motions. I'm trying to get him to keep his hands up a little bit more. But quite a few people do that when they're starting off. There's a lot of up and down, salt and pepper shaker. I have a couple of students who do that too, and it's just one of those habits that you don't need to get into. Sometimes people do it with the headgear because they can't feel their hands against their head. All right, so let's watch that again and let's listen to the coach and what he's saying here.
Fernando, move, Fernando. Don't stay in one spot for too long. Move your head, Fernando. Keep it off the center line. Don't switch your stance too much. Keep your footwork going. Don't cross your feet. Keep your balance.
So yeah, good tips by the coach there. He's calling out the cross stepping to tell him not to do that, to watch his balance, not to switch his stance. He's telling the other guy to keep his head off the center line and stuff like that. So that's all good tips. I'm glad they have a supervisor there to give them some constructive feedback. If these were my students, I would probably eliminate most of the techniques and limit them to just the jab. I have a jab sparring drill, kind of like a structured sparring drill you can do for that. I'm going to link it up above here. And I would have them do something more along those lines and just get rid of all this extra stuff because they're not really throwing with proper techniques. The guy with the red headgear, his 1-2, they're kind of these weird high five, smacky kind of punches. The guy with the white headgear actually has some decent jabs and stuff like that. He's doing a fairly good job with it. But yeah, something happened right here where they end it. So, that's good too. They stop. Everything was fairly respectful and light. But I would definitely say the guy with the red headgear needs to take some more time to eliminate these bad habits of cross-stepping and all these other things and just really work on getting his fundamentals down better. And the guy with the white headgear, he was doing fairly well. He definitely needs some work on a few things. But all in all, he looks like he should be sparring. Like he's at that point where sparring is going to help him. Whereas they got the red headgear, the sparring's probably going to hinder him. He's probably not going to develop good habits if he continues that way. So yeah, that's what my advice would be, is for the guy in the red headgear to revisit the fundamentals and get those going again before he continues to do full sparring. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would love to do more of these. So if you guys, anyone who's watching wants me to break down one of their videos, I promise I'll keep it constructive. I promise I'll keep it respectful. If you want to send them to me, and I will do my best to break them down and offer as much constructive criticism and coaching as I can. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you want more videos. I'm going to try and do more of these. I really like doing these. So yeah, train hard, train smart, train safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.